two teams long out of the playoff chase, but the Commanders, they drop another one, falling 30-23 to the Cowboys.
You know, football is 4 quarters. You can't dig yourself in the hole in the first 2 and then expect it to just roll over. I mean, we got the stops though. We started to make the plays, but when you give up the early points, right, like you're playing from behind the rest of the time. So it's capable of doing it. It's just doing it for 4 quarters and not.
Despite the loss, the Commanders had its share of bright spots. Rookie running back Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt electrified the crowd, rushing for over 100 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns with some impressive shifty runs.
I saw daylight and I was like, this my chance to show when it's open field, I can take it a distance, and I mean, it worked out perfect.
Defensively, the Commanders brought pressure all afternoon, racking up 6 sacks, and with Daron Payne out, Johnny Newton stepped in a big way, finishing with 3 sacks and consistently disrupting the backfield.
Frankie, Johnny Newton was filling in for Daron. Could you just talk about his play today and what you saw from him?
Johnny did a great job. Filled in, played the run, played the pass, got a sack, 3 sacks actually, and it just speaks volume that we got a lot of players that make plays and a lot of starters that are backups at least.
Still, the final results follow a similar script as winning at home continued to be elusive for the Commanders. Now the season comes to a close with a tough road matchup in Philly against the Eagles. Plenty to unpack this week on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus.
The man
call somebody
is back, y'all. We're back.
Call your mama, call your daddy.
We're back and we're back.
We're back.
Tony McGee,
back, y'all.
We're back.
Tony McGee. Come on. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50-some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Crystal City Sports Pub, located in the heart of National Landing, is ranked one of the top 20 sports bars in the country. We are open 365 days a year. Crystal City Sports Pub, with its laid-back atmosphere, is the place to be. We offer 3 levels, over 100 TVs, an 18-foot video wall, pool tables, 3 full bars featuring 11 beers on tap, an extensive menu, and super friendly staff. We offer on- and off-site catering and ample space to host private parties and gatherings. Come experience Crystal City Sports Pub. It is the place to be.
Welcome back to Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. Yes, they lost another game. Yes, they lost it to a division opponent. But at the same time, you can look at this team and you saw some improvements. Now, I saw improvements in the defensive line. That young man, Newton, he had 3 sacks and some good pressure. I saw improvement in the linebacker, and I'm tired of them talking about how old our linebackers are, more than how he's playing. The defensive backs is where I'm having my problem. Now, I said something before the show. I said that they should get rid of them. But, Donna, you seem to feel a different one about that. You feel that they got the ones that they need in the right place, just get rid and bring in a few more.
Yeah, Tony, exactly. I think that the Commanders over the last 4 or 5 games have stepped it up in some areas. But, Tony, you mentioned 2 players you mentioned one, Johnny Newton, who had a good game with 3 sacks. The Commanders had 6 sacks on the day. Woo! 6 sacks.
That's big time.
And then they actually ran the ball, Tony. So I want to go to the locker room for you to hear from 2 players that really shine in that Dallas game.
I just feel like I got to keep growing, and I'm thankful to have this team around. I mean, especially in my running back room, they keep me going, tell me what they see, and I feel like it's like a growing process for me every day. I mean, and I'm just thankful to have to have a group of guys like this on the team.
Hey, Bill, talk about a little bit about your offensive line as far as what they did today, because you had new faces in there with Cosby being out. Talk about the offensive line.
I mean, I think we had three starters out, and I mean, guys know like when their number is called up, they're expected to play at a high level, and I think that's what those guys did. They came, fought hard, and I mean, I feel like we had a solid up front. I just want to finish strong and just feel a little better about myself going to the off season, and that's it. Just want to end on a good note so I can have momentum going into next year.
Hey, Johnny, talk about the type of game you had. 3 sacks.
You know, they come in bunches, as Jake Martin would say, but I just had a great feeling of the game today. Run or pass. I feel like with the film I watched, I feel like I had a great feeling of what they was doing the whole day. So I was just reacting to the play and making plays. In your zone today, I would say? Yeah, in my zone. Whenever I catch fire, it's hard to cool me off. Shit, I don't think I ever had 3 sacks in one game, so that felt good. You know, anytime anybody gets a sack is an adrenaline rush for a player. So just to have 3 of them in one game and having my teammates by my side, D-line celebrating whenever I celebrate. I see them doing the celebration I was doing. That fuels the team up, and that was giving me energy the whole game. Hey, Johnny, all the things you worked on all season long to get this opportunity, did you see it out on the field today, all those little things, techniques and all of that? Yeah. Every day I work just the small details, and before the game with Sharif Floyd, Ari Boost, with Sharif Floyd, Coach Tapp, Coach Ryan. So I feel like all of those things just came into play today.
Hey, Tony, and if you can take anything good from a game that you lost and everything, you want to see some growth in players. The fact that they ran the ball with Bill having over 100 yards and then Johnny getting the 3 sacks, which he said that he ain't never had 3 sacks in one game. What have you started to see? And he was filling in for Deron Payne, who was out with back injury, Tony. But these 2 guys were shining spots in that game to Dallas, even though they lost it.
Well, you know, they were doing well, and the first half, they kind of lost it in the second half, but at the same time, just like you said about Cosby, I'm gonna tell you, Cosby Merritt that name is going to ring in this city. For the simple reason, they said that the reason he's not starting is because he always looking to break the big one. I like that. Try to break it every time you get it. So that's what we need to get started. But before you start measuring what he's doing, do we not have to measure the offensive line? Big Solomon, you know what I'm saying. That offensive line, they say they improved it this year, but they still got some work to do.
Well, first of all, that's the thing about these interviews. Big up, first of all, welcome everybody. What's up, G? What's up, Mike, Pop, Donna? You would never know they lost. Like, it's just even answering those questions. And like Terry said, I'm not about individual accolades. And also, Dad, there's been a lot of talk this week. Big ups to Josh Johnson. We've dissected this year. We have dissected the defense. We've dissected the offense, the special teams. What about the coaches? Dan Quinn's play calling was terrible. Once again, no, we know we have to address a lot during the offseason pause, but Josh Johnson spoke up, and I think just because he knows he's on his way out anyway as a backup probably here, but he was like, man, some of the play positions, he has to realize his personnel. He doesn't have the JD5s no more. You don't have a certain Marcus Mariota, so you got to put a plays in for the people that you have. And I really feel like other than the offensive line, the play calling killed this. Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, no running. You know, you go away from running and then you decide to do trick plays all of a sudden instead of just setting up the run, set up the pass. So, Pops, I'm just still clueless to what the play calling was on Christmas Day.
Yeah, well, I can look at the play calling and I said maybe it was some questionable things, but still, even when you have bad plays called, they only bad because the players aren't really performing. Am I right with that, Mike? You know what I'm saying. You could put any kind of play out there, But if you don't have 11 people rhyming and chiming with it, it's not going to work out. And Mike, you saw that. That's what's happening with this team. One thing that I see about this team that bothers me, I don't see a closeness. And just like Big Solomon said, don't be smiling after you've lost another game. It's nothing to smile about. And Mike, have you seen that? And what do you feel?
Well, that's really interesting you should say that, because you have the number one person on this show that never smiled after a loss, ever. And I got to be down on the sideline, so I saw a lot of Gary play. Even went out to St. Louis to see him catch one of the longest passes in NFL history from Jay Schrader. That young man never, ever, ever, ever smiled or even cracked a smile when they lost. And so, yes, I agree with you, Solomon. I agree with you. I'm just a little taken aback when I see some of these players sort of jocular. The question that I have, though, Tony, and I said it 5-6 weeks ago, I lost confidence in the head coach. And so now the question that I have for you all is, it's conceivable that he may be picking a new defensive coordinator and a new offensive coordinator for next year if Cliff moves on. And so the question would be for me, do we have confidence in him to pick two competent people to bring this team back to maybe at least a 500 season next year?
But you know what, though, Mike, I don't know if that's the big deal. He's going to probably bring them back, and you're not worried about he's going to get rid of the coordinators, maybe. But at the same time, whatever coach they bring in, if they give them a scheme, the players have to make it right. It can't be nothing else. It can't be that it was a bad call, because when they go for something on 4th and 1, you got to have a thought process how you're going to get there. I just don't see that right now. And G, the one side of the area that I can see that has improved as well, it looked like the receivers are coming together.
Yeah, I mean, from the receiver standpoint, first of all, I got to go back. I'm with Solomon. Like, people are doing interviews and you lost a game.
Let's go, G.
You smiling about? There's nothing.
Hey, G, I was going to ask you that, but I knew you never give us a particular word.
Look at his face right now. That's the face you're supposed to have, ladies and gentlemen.
No, they're smiling like they did a great job, but you didn't do a good enough job if you lost. It's just what it is. I don't understand that. I mean, a lot of it, you can only give coaches so much blame, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, the players take over the game once you're out there on the field. Defensive caller, if you don't like what the defense was called, change it. Call another play. Offense, if you don't like what the play was called, change it. That's what checkoff was for. It's at the end of the day, once the players are in the game, it's their job to win the football game.
There you go.
There's not enough talent to do it. Don't get me wrong. The guy had 4 sacks. Great. He was excited about it. But what you're smiling about, you just got your ass kicked. You should have had 8 sacks then. I don't get it.
Get him 84.
You're so right about that. The first time I ever saw that happen, I said, what is this? And that's when I was a uniform inspector. And now that's what they're doing, jumping in. They'd be so happy. I just can't understand these players. But maybe I don't understand them because, Donna, I never made much money as they made. So maybe it wasn't fun to me either way, especially when we lost. They make a lot of money. And the reason I said that statement is, Solomon, you're 100% right about the coaches. They need to pick up their game. But I don't think you may get rid of that coordinator, another one, but that's been shown that happen. But if you heard just what G said, and Donna, I'm going to throw this to you. He said the players got to make the play. That's the whole game. The players got to make the play. So I'm coming back, and it's going to be real quick. But Donna, to me, on offense, the first thing they need to do is solidify that line.
Hey, Tony, I think that they have solidified the offensive line a little bit more this year than previous years, because having Cosme back towards the middle part of the season helped that offensive line. But the thing that you've got to look at, Tony, is it doesn't matter how great the offensive line is if you don't utilize them in the right way. Running the ball is something that they got away from or really never did that much of. But, Tony, they never did find out what their identity was as a team this year. Last year, I felt that they found out what that was, but this year they were pulling at the the reins trying to figure out who they were each week, and they never have found out who that was, Tony. So I think that the offensive line going into 2026 is intact. Now you've got to get some other areas intact to be able to help all phases. And as you always say, Tony, it starts up front with the offense and the defensive line. And more so what needs to be intact a little bit more, Tony, is the defensive line on that side of the ball.
So when we come back, I'll answer that question because I knew Donna would find a way to throw the defensive line up under the bus.
I knew throw them on the bus, they throw them staff.
Yeah, but when we come back, we'll talk about that. We'll be back in a moment. Interested in this locker room, I guess I call my office the locker room, talking to Donna Hopkins and talking to her about the defense. And you know, she kicked them to the curb on the way out. But the one thing about the defense, we've seen improvement in their line. We've seen improvement in their linebacker play. I just feel like he got the cornerback. But you know, it was said during the conversation, and Gary said it as well as Big Zoe, it's not about the coaches, it's about the players performing. And defensive line-wise, the only problem I have with them is they can't pass rush, period.
So how did they improve, Tony? If you said that they improved the defensive
because they improved.
I did not see that.
One man improved. Call it like it is. How many other sacks were from the defensive line?
Tony, but across the board, the defensive line did not improve all season because, as you said, they couldn't get to the quarterback. The tackling was poorly. You had one game, Tony, this past game that they had 6 sacks. The defensive line, Tony, come on, Tony, tell the truth.
And Pops, I think this is what happened too, Pops. And Dad, first of all, I've watched Dad work as an edge rusher, but I've also watched Dad go from the inside too. They actually utilize Newton's speed and ability and reaction, and they put him actually in position, like Dad said, to actually be successful this time. And I know what G's saying, but that's what I'm talking about as a former basketball player myself. Put me in, like, if you know my strength, we don't have this no more, but you know what I'm good at, put me there so I can eat and so I can help the team out. And I'm gonna be honest, that's actually what happened with Zay, because when he's having to shed a blocker off and stand up and dance, he can't do it yet. But when he's allowed to move around and utilize his athletic ability, you 3 sacks later. So, Pop, I'm like Donna. I'm impressed with his game, but where was Kinlaw at? And just like, what's the guy that we just brought back, 52?
Von Miller.
No, Von Miller's 24.
Oh, you're talking about Preston Smith.
Preston Smith. Do we bring them back next year, Pops? What do you think?
No, and I tell you what, and you answered your question. You said I go with Donna, but where's this player? The only player that was consistent and really good was Newton. That's why I said the defensive line need some more people out there. They need some people that are afraid. Von Miller, a couple of plays I saw him, you could tell, and because I was an old player at the time, it's still tough for him. And he can still deliver some, but you can't depend on him like you did before, Donna. And I just tell you, we can do all this all day about the defensive line, and we can talk about special teams where they were average at best. But now it's time for us to start talking about the playoffs. I'm going to tell you what, this year has been an extraordinary different year. You start looking at the players that are out there right now, I mean the teams, and you got a couple of teams that haven't been in the playoffs in years down there. So as you look at this, and you look at like Philadelphia, who we like so much, they just barely make it in the end. Then you got all these young teams, young players, and they are consistently winning, Donna.
Yeah, Tony, if you look at, I brought up a graphics of the playoff picture headed into week 18. And the only 2 teams that are trying to get into the hunt still is a big game this coming week against the Steelers and the Ravens. Now, the Steelers could have wrapped it up, Tony, but they fell to the Browns last week. And the Ravens, they started running the ball successfully again, something that they should have done all year long. And then NFC, you got the Panthers and the Bucks. I don't know what has happened, Solomon, with the Bucks, but the bottom has fell out, and it seems like the Panthers are the team that you should be talking a little bit more. How do you see these two games, Tony and everybody, going into the playoffs? Because the picture is there. That's who's already in the AFC. Got the Broncos, the Patriots, the Jaguars. First time in a long time.
Ooh, let's go, Jags.
I tell you,
that's a team, Tony. Houston is a team that everybody better pay attention because their defense is ferocious. And then you got the Chargers and the Bills. And then over in the NFC, you got the Seahawks, Bears. Look, we were talking about the Commanders last year, and now the Bears have just switched places. They're in the playoffs. Eagles, 49ers, Rams, and Green Bay. But how do you see these two games with the teams that still trying to get in with the Steelers and the Ravens plan, and then the Panthers and the Bucks?
If you take a look at the Steelers and the Raiders, the Ravens, you know I've always been for the Ravens. I don't know what happened on that team, but it seems to be discord on it. But at the same time, they do the last couple of games, they have run the horse, and the horse has been a mule, and he's been packing the load, and that's what they got to do. So what are you saying that's important? Take a look at Pittsburgh. Their defense is one that they can make big plays, but one of their main people is out. And then they got other players that they're blocking balls and stuff up the line of scrimmage. That's not going to work in the playoffs. So I look at this. I'm taking the Ravens because I thought they were better than they are. But I think if they get in, they're going to be very dangerous.
Quick question, though, Pop. Let me ask you. Now, this is as far as our picks as we're going to. I have the Ravens also, but you know they may be without Lamar Jackson this game once again, and Huntley has to step in. So you mean if they feed the Great Dane, you think they'll?
Yeah, but Huntley, I'm gonna tell you what. I noticed Huntley about 3 years ago, and I was wondering then why he wasn't somewhere else playing, because he is a good quarterback.
Got you.
And that's why I got it. I feel like what they'll do with him. Put him in. He can't do the things that the starter is doing, but at the same time, he can hand off to the man, and they can make it happen. And he can make enough plays that he can make it happen. So what I'm just looking at, and G, you could tell me you've been in a race in the playoffs. People hurt, people gone, but it's up to every player to play like they want to go to the Super Bowl. Am I right, G?
100% correct, Tony. I mean, once you get in the playoffs, it's a brand new season. I don't care what position you are in the playoffs. It's a brand new season. You win, you're in. That's really just that simple, So when you're playing at that level, at that point in time, slate is clean. Everybody starts fresh. Some people get, buys, of course. But for me, it was just like, let's win, let's win, let's win. Then it's each game at a time. Each game at a time. Win one game at a time, and you're in.
Let's talk about the Panthers and the Bucks. Todd Bowles down there in Tampa has had a rough year because, to me, they've lost some games that they should have won, and now they're biting their nails, hoping that they can squeeze in beating the Panthers. Mike, how do you see those two teams as far as the Panthers and the Bucks? Because the Panthers guys have surprised everybody because they wasn't even picked to be in a conversation, and now they might be in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting. When Chris Godwin came back, I thought Baker was going to really blossom again. And I thought they would take the next step and pretty much bury the Panthers and win this division. Tony and I had a conversation earlier today. I don't know if Mike Evans is back. I need to check that. But I just think when it comes right down to it, I know Bryce Young has made tremendous strides in his second year. I know the Panthers have a great pass rush. I know they're a coming team. I know they drafted reasonably well this past year. But I just don't see the Bucks and Baker losing this game, Don. I just don't.
Well, me and Solomon, I believe, picked the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. But I like that. But, Tony, when you look at the AFC and the NFC going into the playoffs right now, these are the teams already in. Who do you like in the – and this is for everybody. Who do you like in the AFC and the NFC right now that you say these are the team – this is the team to beat?
Believe it or not, I like Houston. A lot of people don't like Houston. I feel like Houston got the best defense maybe in the game.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ledger, I'm really surprised with the 49ers. Very.
Yeah. Hey, look, CJ Strong has won every game since he's been back, but you better not sleep on the Chicago Bears. Solomon, how do you see this?
Well, first of all, Dad's so impressed with the San Francisco 49ers. You see, you just got choked up. So
yeah, exactly.
That's how impressed we were with that game last night. And I'm gonna just be honest, the Bears, we flip flop. They are the Commanders of last year, so everybody does. You're scared to play them. If Caleb gets the ball in the last minutes, just like JD5, you're in trouble. I'm liking the Bears, and I just feel like this is going to be a great playoff. Just like I was saying during the beginning of the year, for some reason I felt like the young teams like the Jaguars, the Panthers, people that drafted well, the draft picks are paying off now. So I'm just thinking it's going to be a great playoff. But the Bears, you don't want – we got to think about last night. They had to get – it was a shootout. So it wasn't like they just walked away San Francisco just walked away with it.
Now that I can speak back, I got about a minute. Excuse me, fans. I take a look at it, and this is going to come down between more than just teams. It's coming down that NFC, we got more older teams in. The AFC got a lot of young teams in. It's a new day. And right now, if you start looking at it, the AFC can be very dangerous. When we come back, we'll talk more about it.
Hi, welcome home. It's Michelle Van Allen from Van Allen Real Estate. I am over 20 years experienced in this real estate game. We all know that right now in this market takes an experienced agent to get you what you need. All of you sellers, if you're considering putting your house on the market, please give me a call. I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk to you to find out where you place in this market. Hey, you first-time home buyers, remember, right now is the perfect time. It's a buyer's market to get you into your first dream home. Hey, you investors, this is an amazing time to invest. If you ever thought about it, give me a call. We can talk about it. We can talk about specific properties that are on your radar and mine. Give me a call. I'd be more than happy to welcome you into the Van Allen Real Estate team. I look forward to talking to you soon.
As you all know, this is not the greatest season that the Washington have had. So what do? We go out and get some champions from the area, young individuals that we want to know what they're doing and who's helping them. At the same time, we won't talk in this segment about anything negative because we have something positive here. Donna, you went out and you found some great people. Talk to me.
Yeah, Tony, I sure did. It's the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dumfries, but we want to introduce Earl Taylor, GPOA, Greater Potomac Association, because Earl is doing great things in the community with these kids. He had an opportunity to bring them to a Commanders game, and I can't recall if they won that game or not, but it was the experience overall. So, Earl, I'm going to throw it to you for you to introduce everybody from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dumfries. And Earl, you know what? You get to make your picks on this also for Monday and Sunday night game.
Yes, I had the very distinct privilege to meet these young men and their mentors the last football game at the stadium, not the Eagles game, but prior to that. And we had a wonderful time of bonding and talking to these young men that are that's going to be future leaders in my belief because of what how they carry themselves. I will let them tell you who they are by themselves. And I'll start with one of my GPOA members, which is Waddell Van, and let him toss the baton to the folks that's on the panel.
Hello, my name is Waddell Van. I'm a mentor for the Boys and Girls Club that I teamed up with the Boys and Girls Club, my association, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I am a mentor every Wednesday here at the Boys and Girls Club from 4:30 to 5:30, 6 o'clock. I linked up with Tasia Washington, who is a director here, and I'm going to let her go from this point, and then she can introduce the young men that's here on this panel.
Hello, my name is Tasia Washington. I am the program director here at the Heiser Boys and Girls Club in Dumfries. I've been working here for almost 12 years now, and we have some fantastic young men here with us. We'll start with...
Hello, my name is David Osei, and I'm 13 years old. I go to Porter Traditional School, and one of my hobbies are playing basketball. One of my hobbies are playing basketball and socializing with friends. So,
I'm Tanner Nickerson. I'm also 13 years old. I go to Potomac Shores Middle School, and one of my hobbies are playing football and talking to my friends and stuff.
Hi, my name is Malachi Riley. I'm 10 years old. I go to River Oaks Elementary. One of my hobbies is football and watching my Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. I carry you.
Keeping it real. That's all right.
I'm also 13. I go to Potomac Shores. I like to play basketball and football, and my favorite team is also the Broncos.
Yeah. You're the leaders. You'll be the individuals in a few years that'll be leading us which way we want to go. So I want to ask you, what age limit do you get involved? And Earl, you can answer if you want to. How long do you keep them involved? And then what do you have for them after they get out, or do they ever get out?
I think that if they are trying to be leaders, which I know that they will be, that is a lifelong opportunity for you to shape yourself, your family, and the world. And that's the mission that we have working with you now. It wasn't a fluke that we met. That to me was more destiny than anything else, because I've always had this dream of helping somebody, doing something in this world that could be reached back, that people can reach back and say, you know what? That group of officials, those GPOA guys, they were more than just a whistle and a shirt. They really took care of the people. So I asked, just like Tony said, what do you think as young men? Where do you think, other than football, is the most important thing that you need to do?
One thing I think is the most important is like respecting others, because they'll once you respect others, like they'll give you respect back, and you'll be a good person, and others will like you, and you'll be known for doing good things and having good socialization skills and just being a good leader, and that's what I have.
I feel like you could learn to be more mature, because if you learn to be more mature, you could carry yourself better, and you could, I don't know, have a better life kinda, because if you're not mature and you're kind of all over the place, and your life will be all over the place. But I feel like if you're mature, then your life will be kept together.
Well, I think we need to focus.
Louder.
What I think we need to focus on in our life is about how to become better young men and about our mental health.
What I think is more important than football is knowing how to do stuff. Because as men, we're supposed to know how to do stuff like all these other men here said, you know, stuff like that. But I think that we're supposed to know how to do stuff like learn and just
let it snap like that to us.
So I want to ask you all in closing, what does each of you all want to do to impact the world for good?
What I would want to do that will help the world is like give stuff to poverty. I would also like make a lot of I'll be a leader, make a lot of programs for kids like this programs, and I'll also have a lot of youth programs so that others can learn stuff I didn't learn. I would also make like a lot of opportunities for them and help them grow. And that's what I have.
Like that, David.
Thank you.
Making of a superstar.
What I would do is I would do like community service, such as like giving back to the homeless, helping out homeless shelters, helping out people in need, like giving out food to people, public speaking, like speaking about stuff that goes on around in the world, and yeah.
What I would want to do to help the world, first thing I would want to do is raise GoFundMe, help out homeless people like poverty, and I would want to spread around the gospel.
Love that.
Yes.
What I would want to do to help people is I would want to build up money to help people like homeless people that are like on the streets. I want to raise up money to like help them, buy them food, and like make a community center. I would also like to build like sports complex for like kids so they have opportunities to make it to like the NBA, the NFL and stuff like that.
We got some great leaders coming up in what they want to do to impact the world for good.
I want to tell you, young individuals, very impressive because you never said what you're doing for yourself. You said what you want to do for others. So I know already it's a success.
And in Mad Mike's NFL News this week, for all you Steelers fans, it was the 50th anniversary of the terrible towel over the weekend. It did not get the team over the hump, however, so the matchup this coming Sunday has lots of intrigue. The future of the two coaches, player question marks. Can Rodgers win without DK Metcalf? And will it be Huntley or Lamar at quarterback? The ultimate question is not who's going to win, but how many of the towels in the stand Sunday will be the initial batch the team sold in 1975? That first batch were $5 a piece. Come on, Steelers, that's a little pricey in 1975 for a towel? Sheesh, I guess there were no dollar stores back then. Speaking of Lamar, the Baltimore Sun had an article this past week that reports that Lamar, like so many young people, has fallen victim to late-night video gaming. He supposedly falls asleep in meetings and has had the team adjust practices to accommodate his late-night schedule. When he's healthy, he is one of the best in the league, and I hope the Ravens are smart enough to play him on Sunday. But maybe not. The Patriots are AFC East champions after winning just 4 games last season. Is head coach Mike Vrabel the NFL Coach of the Year? I think it's either he or Chicago Bears head coach Ben Johnson. We'll see if I'm right. I mean, Johnson did take off his shirt after a Bears win. That must count for something. Is it just me, or are all the faces Aaron Rodgers exhibits during a game tiresome and self-defeating? Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink, mentions a prominent study that claims the faces you make can not only determine your demeanor, but perhaps one's productivity. Is that why Rodgers has only won 1 Super Bowl? Go ahead, listeners. Make 20 grimacing faces and see how far down in the dumps you get. Pick the Ravens Sunday. Remember what I said week 4? Never count out a Harbaugh. Are all the gang green, all happy again? Yay! Well, A.J. Brown got off the treadmill and is nose out of the book to amass 1,000 yards this season. He has passed that mark in each of his 4 seasons with the Eagles. Now, Devontae Smith should easily do it on Sunday against Washington. He needs just 44 yards. So what's all the fuss about? Well, it's no surprise that quarterback Jalen Hurts got his master's degree in human relations in 2023, probably to deal with these two. Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase became only the second player in NFL history to rack up 7 or more receiving touchdowns in his first 5 games. Randy Moss was the only other player in NFL history to accomplish that feat. Even more remarkable, Chase is the only player in NFL history to amass at least 80 receptions and 7 touchdowns in each of his first 5 seasons. Gosh, what a shame Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes aren't in the playoffs this year. I am so sad. Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence had 2 rushing touchdowns on Sunday, becoming only the 4th player in NFL history to have 25 or more passing touchdowns and 9 or more rushing TDs. Dude, don't cut those locks. The other 3 were Cam Newton, Kyler Murray, and Josh Allen. Finally, Saints rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck became only the 3rd rookie since the 1970 merger with 2 300-yard games and no interceptions in back-to-back games. Who were the other 2? My buddy Joe Burrow and Dallas's Dak Prescott.
Looking for top-notch sports officials who know the game inside and out? The Greater Potomac Officials Association, GPOA, proudly serves the military community throughout our region, with nearly 90% of our officials being military retirees, active duty service members, or guardsmen. We bring unmatched discipline, professionalism, and integrity to every contest. From youth leads to adult alumni, our officials cover it all. Want to learn more about GPOA or bring our officials to your program? Contact owner and CEO Earl Teller III at 202-498-2032 or email him at gr8rpotomac@comcast.net.
The one-of-a-kind joy of Kellogg's cereal and ice-cold milk.
Now, as I said before I left, I'm looking at these younger teams now. They're very dangerous. You also look at teams like the Rams. Everybody's saying the Rams can do it. They got best receiver in the game. But they're older teams as well. I'm looking at these young teams that are coming up, have no fear of the older teams. And Donna, I'll tell you, you can see that in their play. And I think we're going to really be surprised who wins the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, Tony, totally, because it's going to be a fun playoff. But Tony, let's get to the workout. That's going to be fun because Ricky told me to deliver this message to you. Get in shape for 2026.
There you go. Shoulder press, you guys. Oh. Go. So we're doing all shoulders. Some shoulder press to upright row to rear flies. ISO rear flies. I like that tempo. Nice and easy. Good. This is how you should be doing your weights. Nice, easy, slow, no jerking, none of that. Let's move and are breathing.
30.
Yeah, 30 pounds she got. There you go. Nice and smooth. Up to the chin, down slow. Nice and smooth. Again, we get a chance to work those delts, the frontal, medial.
This is one of my favorite exercises.
Yeah. Again, if we breathing hard, don't even trip. That's all fake. Then Donna got it. As you pull it up, exhale. Go down. Inhale. Working your lats.
So, Ricky, what is this?
This is the back, working your lats. Yeah. Woo, nice stretch too. Feels really good. Nice and easy. So when you lay down, your heart rate just go down completely. But you gotta be careful with this one. Boy, this stretch feels good. That's why I wish you was doing this so you can feel it.
Tony, you know what? Ricky's in shape and he's getting me in shape for 2026, but the team has already got in shape to finish out the season. And Tony, let's talk about who's being in shape in the playoffs to finish this off.
You don't know how important that is, and condition is a big deal. I tell you what, you tell me what team right away says you studied this a little bit. What teams do you think are in the best shape and have a great opportunity?
Yeah, Tony, but let's go to our sports challenge, Tony, to talk about who's in shape there. Hey, Tony, I wanted to bring this in before I answer your question, but I think as Gary said, that all those teams that we showed with the graphic, who's in shape, is the teams that's in the playoffs already right now in the AFC and the NFC. But Tony, as we look at our sports challenge, it's close. One more week to go. And look how close it is. Right now, the Glory Days are winning 20-14. And then right behind them is Crystal City Pub. And also Billy Baines out there at Crystal City Restaurant at 19-15. So, Tony, it's going to come down to the final week to find out who's going to win this game. And there's only one game this week, and that's on Sunday. So, hey, we could have a three-way tie, Tony.
Oh, well, no. The only reason we got a three-way tie is you've been pistol whooping us
No, Tony. I never.
You wait till I give you my picks and then you pick yours. But that can't do the other
Hey,
team.
Tony, I'm in last.
I'm
in last place. How can I pencil whip you? I'm in last place.
Because we talked to you a few weeks ago.
Hey, but right now, Tony, when we look at our picks, you know, you are at 49-31. Gary is right there that can pull up and win. You and Solomon are in first place right now with a tie, 49-31. And Gary and Mike are right behind you, one game behind. So it's going to be critical. And if you notice everybody's picks this week, Tony, so it's close on both rounds, Tony. But I'm going to let you bring everybody back in, Tony. And how can I pencil whoop you when I'm in last place?
But you know why? Because hey, remember when you called her G? And so she's been losing ever since then. So I mean,
come on, Tony. I want you to tell the truth.
What it is, Donna, I can play that game now because if you look at it, we never know from week to week which team is going to win. And you look at the different teams win. That's why I made purposely look at that playoff. Look at those younger teams are better than our older teams, and those older teams have been there before, got a lot of injuries. So it's going to be a young team that's going to win this thing. And I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it right here on air. Mm-hmm. Everybody better keep an eye on Houston.
No.
I'm going to say, who you don't talk? Tell me. You don't think so?
You know what, Tony? You and Gary said it 11 years ago. These games, everything, the entire league is based on injuries and strength of schedule. And if you look at that, there are only 2 teams that had the tough schedules and made it through with the fewest injuries, and that's the Rams and the Eagles. Now, Buffalo maybe, but that Super Bowl is going to be the Rams and Buffalo.
Oh, I don't go
Rams
with that.
and Buffalo.
Where Buffalo barely got in.
But they had
didn't even win their division.
And Josh is hurt.
Yeah, so I can't. Who do you think, G? Talk to me. We only got a minute, so run it to me quick. Who you think can win? And
I
why?
think New England has a chance, quite honestly.
Really?
Yeah, they've been strong. They've been strong the whole season.
Well, what stands out with them? What do you see that they got? Every team has to have something. Like we had the posse.
I think what they have is they've been disrespected the whole season because nobody's talked about them, and they've been basically the top team for most of the season.
Right.
You know, and them and Denver, of course, but the New England. They've been like nobody's talked about them. Like they've been out of the conversation the whole year.
Well, Mike, tell me what's your thoughts about that. No, Solomon, you tell me what you think. We only got a couple of minutes, and I want to just find out quickly each of your thoughts about that.
Had great times in the great Foxborough and Norton area of my life as a youngin'. So I'm like, gee, I'm going to go with New England, and I like the Rams. So my Super Bowl, I feel like it's going to be New England versus the Rams, Pop.
All right. Mike?
Oh, no.
I'm giving you a chance to change.
Strength of schedule. It's going to be Buffalo and the Rams. The Rams will beat the Eagles in the championship game.
Okay, well, I'm taking Houston being, and as you do, I think I like the Rams, but I'm scared of the 49ers.
Yeah, Tony, I was getting ready to say I'm picking New England and also the 49ers on that side.
I mean, it's scary what they're doing right now. So let's find out, Mike, how much time I have left before we close this out. I think we got a minute.
You have 45 seconds to tell people why this is the best show in America in 2025 and why in 2026 it will be even better.
You said that, Tony McGee. No, I got a good crew. Hey, guys, it's fun. We still got games left, and that's for your fans as well. We're going to go into the playoffs, even if they're not there. But at the same time, what we're looking at, you got transition happening. This show is 41 years old. First time we've seen this much change in the season in the league. So this is going to be an interesting playoff. I think you're going to have someone come out of it, like a Houston, that nobody expected. So with that being said, and I tell you what, y'all did some good picks, but man, I wish I can get some more money on that from y'all. But with that being said, we don't say goodbye. We say in a minute.
In a minute. Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Speakers Bureau offers you various opportunities to connect with former and current players along with Tony and the crew. For more information, go to redmagplus.com Speakers Bureau.
The one-of-a-kind joy of Kellogg's cereal and ice-cold milk.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50-some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
This game mirrored Patriot depth at all positions.
the winningest record in New England Patriot history. Best of all, for the first time in 13 years, the Patriots season had not ended. Like the tortoise and the hare, their goal was to be there at the finish. They were the wild card, with a firm grip on the playoffs. The Patriot rush line of Mel Lunsford, Raymond Hamilton, Tony McGee, and Julius Adams sacked quarterbacks 47 times. Their strategy was simple. Shove the pass pocket way beyond its normal boundaries and push quarterbacks backward in forced retreat.